Swinburne podcasts. The academic procession is about to enter the hall. Would you please stand? Please remain standing for the national anthem. The words are on the inside back cover of your program. Please be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce the presiding officer of today's ceremony, Mr. Bill Scales, AO, Chancellor of Swinburne University of Technology.
Members of University Council, members of staff, distinguished guests, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I welcome you to this graduation and award conferral ceremony, which acknowledges the achievements of so many of you and which represents a significant step in your process of lifelong learning. As a mark of respect to Australia's Indigenous people, Swinburne University of Technology acknowledges the Wurundjeri people as the traditional custodians of the land where we now meet to conduct this most important ceremony. The occasion of this ceremony, the Council and staff wish to share their pride and their congratulations with the graduates on their achievement. For all of us, this ceremony is a very special occasion. For the graduates, it means the culmination of years of study, hard work and achievement. For the parents, families and friends of the graduates, it means that all the sacrifices which you have made and the support which you have given and provided have now finally been rewarded. I'm sure that you, just like us, feel a great sense of pride and happiness in seeing your friend or your family member succeed in this most wonderful way. Of course, we're very pleased that so many of you have been able to attend to make this such a special occasion. For the teaching and administrative staff of the university, there is enormous satisfaction in seeing our students successfully complete their studies. But this is also an important occasion for the university. Swinburne prides itself in the quality of the teaching and learning which it provides. This wonderful celebration gives public recognition of Swinburne's ongoing commitment to provide our students with a range of high-quality, relevant educational qualifications. These qualifications will assist them in making an ongoing contribution to their chosen profession, certainly. But for us here at Swinburne, what's particularly important is that we'll help them to make a lifelong contribution to their community. Swinburne is committed to being both a national and an internationally recognised institution, where our programs are relevant to the world community as well as to Australia. We're committed to this goal because increasingly, and you will be no exception to this rule, will increasingly be required to work outside of Australia, and you will establish successful international careers. I'd now like to call upon Professor John Wilson, Deputy of the Faculty of Engineering and Industrial Sciences, to introduce tonight's guest speaker.
It's with pleasure that I introduce Dr. Ziggy Switkowski to deliver today's occasional address. Dr. Switkowski is the Chair of the Australian Nuclear Science and Technological Organisation. He's also a non-executive director of Suncorp, Tabcorp and Healthscope, and Chair of Opera Australia. He's a former Chief Executive of Telstra, Optus and Kodak Australia. And in 2006, he chaired the Prime Minister's review of uranium mining, processing and nuclear energy, which returned nuclear power to the country's strategic debate. Dr. Switkowski has a PhD in nuclear physics from the University of Melbourne and is a Fellow of the Australian Academy of Technological Sciences and Engineering. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I invite Dr. Ziggy Switkowski to deliver today's occasional address.
Thank you, Professor Wilson, Chancellor and academic staff, graduates and your families, distinguished guests, one and all. I am pleased and honoured to be here today for this graduation ceremony of the Swinburne University of Technology and to address the graduates, you graduates of the Faculty of Business and Enterprise and the Faculty of Engineering and Industrial Sciences, disciplines which have been important to me over my own career in business and in technology. Now, my primary task tonight is to offer graduates warmest congratulations for your achievements so far and to wish you the very best good fortune in all of your future endeavours. I might also offer you the suggestion that at some point during the day you might pause to soak up some realisation of just how much pride and joy you have brought to your families and friends. And to the many parents who are here today, I echo the Chancellor's comments. No matter what your sons and daughters may say, they couldn't have done it without you. These young men and women leave Swinburne with every reason to be confident that the world is their oyster, that by graduating from this esteemed university they have passed the sternest of tests of their intellect, of their ability and their stamina. Equipped to lead, they should be ready to take on this extraordinarily challenging world. And what a time it is, especially given the pace of technological change, which is the theme of my address this evening. Last year, the United States National Academy of Engineering set out their views of what the 20th century's, last century's, greatest engineering achievements were. And over 100 years, they pointed to the following: electrification, automobiles. These were unknown prior to 1900 in any quantity. Aeroplanes, water supply and distribution, electronics, radio and television, agricultural mechanisation, computers, telephony, air conditioning and refrigeration. These were the top 10. That's even before they got to include the surging impact of the internet, which on that list up until the year 2000 came in at number 13. But such a list reminds us of the breathtaking influence of science, of engineering, of commerce in defining our modern world. Now, of course, we have limited ability to forecast the cosmic leaps ahead, nor how dramatically our daily lives may change as a result. Our forebears 100 years ago, in 1909, could not have dreamt, could not have imagined the emergence of television, of computers, of satellites, of lasers, of iPods, let alone Google, Facebook and Twitter. Or of a global population, which in 1909 globally, the population was approaching $2 billion. To imagine that by the middle of this century, so 2050 or 2060, the number will trend towards 10 billion people 150 years after 1909. And that a challenge for the 21st century would be that of an ageing population, not a prematurely dying one, which was the situation 100 years ago, or that the planet's resources might be stressed and the ecosystem endangered by our large numbers. We can be certain, and you can be certain, that society's form, our way of life and our standard of living will be reshaped and improved by unimagined inventions and system leaps yet ahead, changes which today's graduates will help lead and manage. But you don't have to go back 100 years to be impressed by how much technology has shifted and how important it is in our social processes. Go back to the mid-90s. In 1996, let's talk about things that are familiar to this group. 1 in 5 Australians owned a mobile phone, only 1 in 5. The phones were mainly analogue and they were in the hands of commercial and tradespeople. The mobile phone had just arrived as an important productivity tool. Today in Australia, there are more phones than there are people. All are digital with features far beyond simple voice calls, and they resemble more like mobile video handsets than they do telephones. No business nor teenager can operate without one. With the personal computer, which appeared globally in the early 1980s, by the mid-90s in Australia, 1 in 3 Australian homes had a computer, but fewer than 1 in 20 had internet access. Today, 3/4 of all homes, and that number is increasing, and all businesses have a PC, almost all of which have to have some form of internet access. In the mid-90s, the domestic internet access speeds were 14.4 kilobits per second. That's a small number. Content was text only. There was no video, let alone YouTube. They were simpler times. Outside of engineering and technology firms and universities such as this, email was just appearing in the most progressive of businesses. Today, almost all enterprises have internet access, and the national government has recently announced an ambitious plan to build a national high-speed 100 megabit per second broadband network. In the mid-90s, wireless text messaging was not available in Australia. None. Today, more than 1 billion text messages, SMS messages, are sent each month, a volume to be further increased by the number of tweets being broadcast by the Twitter message service, by the front half of this hall, not necessarily the back half. Subscription television had just been launched in 1995 on the back of a controversial dual cable rollout, but plasma and LCD screens were nowhere to be seen. The past 2 decades have seen an evolution from analogue products. That means things like vinyl records, black telephones tethered to wall sockets, photographic film, and 26-inch boxy televisions. Evolution has been to all digital ecosystems, largely shaped by advances in the broad categories of IT, communications and the internet. Ubiquitous communications have given meaning to the concept of 24/7. And while you were studying in the last 3, 4 or 5 years, the human genome has been sequenced. The World Wide Web has passed 10 billion pages, mostly rubbish, with 1 billion or so online users. Social networking sites, Facebook, MySpace, now have hundreds of millions of visitors globally. And the global financial crisis has come, and we hope gone. Yet if the past decade has been blindingly fast, and we've seen fast shifts in technology and some social processes, the future promises more of the same, yet faster still. Where are we going? The chief executive of the global IT company IBM has recently offered his perspective about a world becoming smarter as intelligence is incorporated into more environments which are increasingly linked. He's made the following points. 2 billion out of a global population currently of 7 billion people will be on the web in the next couple of years. At the same time, we're heading towards 1 trillion, 1,000 billion connected objects. Cars, appliances, cameras, toll roads, pipelines, etc. Already 1 in 2 people globally own a mobile phone, nearly 3.5 billion mobile phones. An estimated 2 billion radio frequency identification tags were embedded in products, passports, buildings, toll road sensors, even animals, and that number will increase to 30 billion by next year. There will come a time when I will look out at an audience like this and know that you are all embedded with intelligent chips. Me too. Massively powerful computers can be affordably applied to processing, modelling, forecasting and analysing now just about any workload or any task, as well as monitoring the interactions between these trillion interconnected objects. For the first time in our history, almost anything can become digitally aware and interconnected, and it will be. Oh, and of course, in the next couple of years, the country with the largest English-speaking population, yep, China. He goes on, this IBM CEO, to list modern society's key processes and how they'll be transformed and made more safe and more efficient. And the list is long. Energy, financial systems, food distribution, healthcare, traffic systems. In the next 40 years, there'll be 1,400 new international airports around the world. Weather forecasting and climate change, oil field management, water reticulation systems. And there is the potential in 2030, in another 20 years, when computers are expected to rival the capacity of the human brain to imagine or to expect unimaginable opportunities ahead. Let's talk at a higher level of systemic national changes. During the 1970s, France showed how a national strategy obsessively followed could build a better future for its citizens. Traumatised by the impact of the first oil shock in 1973-74, which saw interruptions to their key energy fuel, which was Middle Eastern oil, and massive price hikes which followed the resumption of the supply, a coalition of industry, of trade unions and the government agreed to introduce nuclear power to achieve national energy security and independence. And in the next 15 years, beginning in the mid-70s, 57 nuclear reactors were built, which now 59 in France, and they now generate 80% of France's electricity, while supporting allegedly non-nuclear nations like Denmark and Italy with its exported nuclear power. France is a country 3 times our size in population, 3 times our gross domestic product, but with greenhouse gas emissions below those of Australia. Now, Australia does not yet see its industrial processes under the similar threat, or a similar threat that the French had in the 70s, although the global financial crisis momentarily felt that way. But with considerable vision and conviction, our government is putting in place key technology policies with principles around which our industry and society will organise. Firstly, the commitment to clean energy, while still hotly debated in some quarters, will inevitably see dramatic increases in efforts directed at new energy platforms and solutions that prevent greenhouse gas emissions from fossil fuel burning reaching the atmosphere. Another important initiative of the government is the commitment to building a high-speed national broadband network. Few government or individual industry strategies will have as wide-ranging and as important an effect on our economy as the availability of affordable internet access with world-class bandwidth and available to all Australians. This is a policy as an example of informed government leadership and should lead to an environment within which many exciting and unforeseen applications and businesses will emerge, even though the details of this execution potentially lead us down difficult and unexpected paths. When a nation agrees on its priorities, especially when reinforced by a real and visible urgency, strong government leadership makes an emphatic difference and accelerated progress follows. So let me conclude, as you graduates take your next steps in the development of your careers, by noting that it is a lot easier to make a lot of noise than to make a lot of difference. It's easier to be part of the problem than part of the solution. It's easier to point an accusing finger than lend a helping hand. It's easier to make someone fall than to help someone succeed. It's easier to create dissension than to inspire confidence. It's easier to fight for control than do the heavy lifting to build coalitions. But it is a great comfort to be presented this evening with evidence that the future of our businesses, of our institutions and our communities will be in your qualified hands. Here in Australia, we often complain that we suffer from what we call the tall poppy syndrome, the national propensity to tear down those who are successful. But it's good this evening to be reminded on days such as this that despite the syndrome, there is no shortage of top-class volunteers for future lobbying. I am hugely optimistic about the future of Australia and our region. You have qualified in your educational endeavours at a wonderful time, and I wish you every success. Thank you very much.
As Dr. Switkowski said, what a wonderful time to be graduating. Dr. Switkowski, can I ask you to please accept a small token of our appreciation as a thank you for your most insightful comments to our graduates tonight. Thank you very much. I now call upon Ms Jan McAdam, Associate Director, Client Services, to verify that the graduates listed in the program are in fact eligible to receive their awards.
Chancellor, I have the honour to inform you that in accordance with Statute 13 of Swinburne University of Technology, the graduates who will be presented at this ceremony or who have applied to have their award conferred in absentia have fulfilled the conditions prescribed and are entitled to the award of Associate Degree, Bachelor Degree, Graduate Certificate, Executive Certificate, Graduate Diploma, Master Degree, Professional Doctorate and Doctor of Philosophy, as appropriate, of Swinburne University of Technology.
Could I ask that all graduates please stand for the conferral of awards? By the authority vested in me by the Council of Swinburne University of Technology, I admit the duly authorised graduates here present and those in absentia to the appropriate awards and all the rights and all the privileges of those awards. Congratulations, well done. Let me be the first to congratulate you. Well done. Graduates, please take your seats. I now call upon Professor Ken Heskin, the Dean of the Faculty of Business and Enterprise, to present his graduates.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the graduates on whom you have conferred an award. For the Bachelor of Business Accounting, Suresh Kumar Adlore Balaji. Kawaja Wakus Arshud. Travis Scott Auger. Suraj Singh Iyer. Emma Lavinia Barnes. Anthony Luc Bonfante. Harutai Chai Sing Thong. Jean-Patrick Didier Chan Fan. Meng-Shi Chow. George John Cochran. Simon James Dahl. Iglesias Olga. Eugene Edward Gibson. John Haddad. Jimmy Ho Jiao. Shansha Jian. Ruindra Carndell. Spandan Karki. Leonard Koo. Colin Murray Landman. Paul Litinsky. Zhao Guan Lu. Mohammed Faris Mahmoudi Yusuf. Jessica Tijana Medved. Yaji Min. Christopher Lee Morrison. Mohammed Nasser. Dan Nok Nguyen. Christopher James Nichols. Chatarina Octafiento. Christopher James Farr. Ellen Catherine Place. Ranjan Pokarel. Mohsin Ponisari. Harsha Pusularu. Lakshika Gayan Samarakun Ratnayaka Muriyan Selaga. Deepak Sapkuta. Daniel Peter Sarsesevich. Praneet Singh. Mark Philip Spicer. Sivlun Tang. Yingna Tien. Kim Nan To. Laura Elizabeth Toscano. Julie Tran. Sri Prai John Tum Tong. Simon James Vines. Theodora Vrackett-Salis. Nicholas William Donald Westgarth. Susanna Louise White. Man Kai Wong. Nancy Yuden. Hua Zhang. Ren Yi Zhao. For the Graduate Certificate of Business Administration, Rosario Hazanoff. Sorry. For the Graduate Diploma of Accounting, Fusheng Gui. For the Master of Accounting, Andrea Louise Buckland. Yongyi-Yen Cheng. Parabendige Thilini Budika Kure. Ruta Kotare. Utpul Kumar. Arun Kumar Kumaraville. Paulus Janus Lesinskas. Zheng Li. Fan Liao. Lin Jianwei. Marie Joelle Francesca Martin. Hemal Bhupendra Kumar Patel. Dai Kai Pham. Harshwardhan Singh Rawul. Deepti Remaji. Bruce Lloyd Road. Neha Samir Singh. Titiya Sokarut. Susanto. Zhaoli Wang. Jing Yuan Zun. Shenyang Zhao. Yang Zhao. For the Master of Business Administration, Carly Petra Lee Elder. Tricia Mary Love. Anu Mahajan. Andrew Mantzunas. Alan David May. Judith Ann McGannon. David Charles Moynes. Maria Panayi. Alexander Pakin. Danica Savia Pinto. Prashanth Tondon. Siri Root Therm Sarikal. For the Master of Entrepreneurship and Innovation, Lucy Catherine Fraser. Costa Gavras. William Yu Min Lai. Noble Idawu Olapide Olami Yulo. Jacqueline Tripanowski. Alexander Bo Yang Wang. Daniel James Young. For the Master of Management, Strategic Foresight, Gerardus Johannes Brutsman. Vesna Penyan Marianovic. For the Master of Accounting Honours,
Sing Lee. Michael Van Galen. Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the graduates on whom you have conferred the degree of doctorate. For the Doctorate of Business Administration, Mary Elizabeth Dunkley. Dr. Dunkley's thesis title is Entrepreneur or Accountant, an exploratory study of accounting public practitioners and their accounting practices in Victoria and Tasmania. The concept that accountants can be entrepreneurial and innovative business leaders, as distinct from providing a business advisory or taxation service to entrepreneurs, is an intriguing notion. Dr. Dunkley's thesis provides an extensive investigation into the changed role of accountants in public practice. She studied the psychological types of accounting public practitioners and characteristics of small public practice accounting firms in order to determine correlations between the personality characteristics of accountants and success in an accounting practice. Her research presents a profile of the 21st century public practitioner and how the profile of the individual reflects in the success of their practice. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Mary Elizabeth Dunkley for the degree of Doctor of Business Administration. Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the next graduate on whom you have conferred the degree of doctorate, Jane Elizabeth Kovacs. The title of Dr. Kovacs' thesis is Facilitating Change in Australian Schools, Applying a Business Quality Improvement Model. Despite significant government investment in our school education system, there is little evidence of improvement in school performance over the past decade. Few of the many strategies used to bring about the changes being called for by key stakeholders have been evaluated for their effectiveness. Dr. Kovacs' studies set out to investigate the impact of one such strategy, the Quality in Schools programme, aimed at developing capacity in the application of a quality improvement approach proven in industry. The research demonstrates that the quality improvement approach can lead to improved school performance and highlights the importance of ongoing dialogue between industry and education. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Jane Elizabeth Kovacs for the degree of Doctor of Business Administration. Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the next graduate on whom you have conferred the degree of doctorate, Calvin Chong Kun Lee. The title of Dr. Lee's thesis is An Investigative Study of Confucian Humanism in the Development and Maintenance of Korean Business Groups. Dr. Lee's study was designed to examine Confucianism as a belief system and way of life, and how it influenced the birth and evolution of business groups. The study also examined Confucian humanism and its ethical implications for business groups. It reaffirmed that the tradition of humanity that Confucius and his disciples formulated has endured to modernity. The Confucian cosmology of the human-to-nature nexus and the Confucian spirituality of cosmic immanence in the self provide clues to the multi-layered structure of Confucian consciousness of self, selves, and the greater self, namely society. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Calvin Chong Kun Lee for the degree of Doctor of Business Administration. Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the next graduate on whom you have conferred the degree of doctorate. Litmire Pandanovang. The title of Dr. Pandanovang's thesis is Foreign Firm Strategic Intent and its Interrelationship / Alignment with Thai Cultural and Social Values. Dr. Pandanovang investigated the interrelationship and alignment of foreign firm strategic intent with Thai social and cultural values and identified gaps in existing knowledge on strategy-culture fit. His thesis contributes to the development of a field of research dedicated to the study of foreign corporate strategic intent, as well as contributing to a better understanding of Thai social and cultural values and their implications for corporate decision-making. The thesis makes recommendations for foreign firms operating in Thailand and potential foreign investors on how to achieve benefits and sustain competitive advantage in Thailand's construction industry. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Litmire Pandanovang for the degree of Doctor of Business Administration. Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the next graduate on whom you have conferred the degree of doctorate. For the Doctor of Philosophy, Henry Kwok Wai Lee. The title of Dr. Lee's thesis is Dimensions of Entrepreneurship, a study of first and second generation ethnic Chinese in Melbourne. Chinese entrepreneurship has made a sizable contribution in Australia in recent years. Dr. Lee's research examined the entrepreneurial behaviours of both first and second generation Chinese entrepreneurs in Box Hill's Chinatown to provide a better understanding of the skills and human resources required for Australia's economic development. This research can also provide a better understanding of immigrants' entrepreneurship needs and therefore influence policy decisions. As the study is specific to Chinese entrepreneurship in Box Hill, the findings can support the Whitehorse Municipality's economic development plans for the region. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Henry Kwok Wai Lee for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the next graduate in whom you have conferred the degree of doctorate, Lucy Liu. The title of Dr. Liu's thesis is Building an Organisational Learning Architecture for Strategic Renewal, an autoethnography of action learning. Dr. Liu's thesis analyses how the concept of action learning can be employed to build an organisational learning framework in pursuit of strategic renewal in a complex manufacturing environment. Dr. Liu utilised a case study of a major Australian motor vehicle manufacturer. She employed analytic autoethnography in order to take advantage of her insider status at the company as a researcher practitioner. Her analysis is framed around the 4I model of intuition, interpretation, integration, and institutionalization in order to develop a nuanced model of an organizational learning architecture across multiple organizational levels, individual, group, and organization. Not only does her thesis make a significant contribution to the theoretical literature, but also presents specific implications for lean manufacturing and company systems. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Lucy Liu for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Chancellor, that concludes the awards for the Faculty of Business and Enterprise. I now call upon Professor John Wilson, Deputy Dean of the Faculty of Engineering and Industrial Sciences, to present his graduates.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the graduates on whom you have conferred an award for the Associate Degree of Aviation. Jonathan Edward Couch. Matthew James Evans. Matthew James William Idles. Matthew Russell Tribblecock. And for the Associate Degree of Technology in Aviation, Christopher William Madley. And for the Bachelor of Aviation and Management, Kyle Anthony Patchett. For the Bachelor of Aviation Management and the Bachelor of Business, David Edward McNeil. For the Bachelor of Aviation and the Bachelor of Business, Kurt John Oborn. For the Bachelor of Engineering and Civil Engineering, Michael John Beverin. Jasmine Fedibogovic. Kenton Scott Hall. Chi Pang Kuek. David Peter McCarroll. For the Bachelor of Engineering in Civil Engineering and the Bachelor of Business, Anton Chintana Pires. For the Bachelor of Engineering, Electronics and Computer Systems, Nevin John Fernandez. Sandeep Reddy Kakanura. Colin Paul Murphy. Amir Hussein Pavel. For the Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering, Anthony Yu Heng Chi. Ryan Joseph Comerford. Stephanie Marie Curich. Lachlan Allen Davidson. Ricardo Alberto Figueroa. Sean Joseph Holloway. Bhagyag Lakmali Leah Naj Weerasingh. Janit Rameshandra Mitra. Now for the Bachelor of Engineering, Mechanical Engineering and the Bachelor of Business, Brendan James Hogan. Nicholas Ivan Murray. Elijah Perak. Kane Jared Wheeler. For the Bachelor of Engineering in Product Design Engineering, Philip Peter Monsborough. For the Bachelor of Engineering, Robotics and Mechatronics, Martin James Bacon. Evan Reese Sharp. For the Bachelor of Engineering, Robotics and Mechatronics and the Bachelor of Science, Computer Science and Software Engineering, Rowan Noah Ahmed. Philip Padish. For the Bachelor of Science in Photonics, Marcus Graham Lingham. For the Bachelor of Technology in Air Transportation Management, Luke Graham Duvernich. Ellen Lee. For the Bachelor of Technology, Air Transportation Management and the Bachelor of Business, Chaplain Tam. For the Bachelor of Technology in Aviation, Edmund James Phelps. Peter Robert Stevens. For the Bachelor of Technology in Aviation and the Bachelor of Business, Alistair Reginald Booth. Nicholas Thorley Krillman. For the Graduate Certificate of Aviation in Human Factors, Dawit Baru Mezamur. For the Graduate Diploma of Aviation in Management, Peter Martin Grigg. For the Graduate Diploma of Engineering in Advanced Manufacturing Technology, Dharani Janad Athan. For the Graduate Diploma of Technology in Aviation Human Factors, Shane Graham Hogben. For the Master of Aviation in Management, Thomas Allen Chippendale. For the Master of Engineering, Advanced Manufacturing Technology, Arvind Dhanaraj. Jyotsna Nimagada. Manik Sharma. For the Master of Engineering in Microelectronic Engineering, Bulkuma Dhirubhai Patel. For the Master of Technology in Civil, Tran Hugh Bayo Quinth. For the Master of Technology Management, Air Transportation Management, Daniel Shimmick. For the Master of Technology Management, Construction Management, Yu Cheng Guo. For the Master of Technology Management in Risk Management, Bernard George Green. For the Master of Engineering in Honours, Advanced Manufacturing Technology, Gurpreet Singh Bopari. Edwin Jerris Duran. Shabir Ahmed Mohammed. For the Master of Engineering, Microelectronic Engineering with Honours, Piyush Harpal. Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the graduates on whom you have conferred the degree of doctorate. For the Doctor of Philosophy, Azam Digan. The title of Dr. Degam's thesis is Failure Prediction for Water Pipes. Dr. Degan's research focused on improving the reliability of pipeline networks supplying potable water. The network used for the database recorded the highest failure rate in Australia during the mid-1990s. A reliable failure prediction model was required. The influence of factors affecting pipe failure rates was examined. Those factors were incorporated into a novel artificial neural network model used to estimate the reliability of various classes of pipes. A significant improvement over the performance of common models was achieved. This approach was further developed to establish a non-parametric model to predict failure occurrences as a non-stationary random process. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Azam Digan for the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the next graduate on whom you have conferred the degree of doctorate, Rehana Hesami. The title of Dr. Hesami's thesis is Large-Scale Range Data Acquisition and Segmentation. Dr. Hesami developed a cost-effective range scanner system that can be used to analyse real-world objects and collect data on their shape and appearance. The scanner will provide more flexibility when used in large-scale civil applications. Dr. Hesami identified and analysed problems associated with range data acquisition and processing of large building exteriors. She then developed an algorithm titled Hierarchical Robust Segmentation to automatically extract geometric details of man-made objects in a hierarchical coarse-to-fine approach. Many applications become viable or significantly enhanced by this technology, including automated infrastructure maintenance, intelligent traffic systems, and mining and navigation applications. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Rehani Hesami for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the next graduate on whom you have conferred the degree of doctorate, Paul Maxwell Miller. The title of Dr. Miller's thesis is Integration of PDMS membranes into thermoplastic microfluidic packages. Dr. Miller's project proposed a novel process to integrate silicon rubber membranes into polycarbonate microfluidic devices, which are miniaturised diagnostic devices used for health and environmental monitoring. The research showed that an adhesively laminated composite of silicon rubber and polycarbonate can be embossed in a reproducible way while still maintaining the integrity of the adhesive bond. The technique developed by Dr. Miller will be used to assist in the fabrication of microfluidic structures and offers an effective way to integrate silicon membranes into polycarbonate microfluidic devices. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Paul Maxwell Miller for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the next graduate on whom you have conferred the degree of doctorate, Adrian Lindsay Morfett. The title of Dr. Morfett's thesis is Workplace Analysis for Regional Pain Syndrome, the development and application of a posture measurement model and cervical assessment tools for reducing the risk of regional pain syndrome. Work-related musculoskeletal disorders are widespread in industrialised countries. Changes in pain modulation in the peripheral and central pain systems are thought to be a contributing factor in these disorders. Dr. Morfett's thesis researched the relationship between poor working postures and the development of musculoskeletal disorders. Results show that exposure to poor working postures, particularly in the neck, increased pain sensitivity. Furthermore, the characteristics of a work task can significantly influence pain. It was concluded that the pathophysiological pain mechanisms should be included as risk factors for chronic work musculoskeletal pain. A sophisticated and new posture measurement system was developed specifically for this research. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Adrian Lindsay Morfett for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Chancellor, that concludes the awards for the Faculty of Engineering and Industrial Sciences. I now call upon Ms. Stephanie Curick, who graduated today with a Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering, to speak on behalf of the graduates.
Chancellor, members of the University Council, distinguished guests, fellow graduates, ladies and gentlemen. I'd firstly like to thank Swinburne for giving me this opportunity to thank and acknowledge those people who have helped us all, the students, achieve what we have here today. On behalf of the students graduating today, I'd like to thank the staff of the university for the friendly assistance, support and guidance they have provided us throughout our years of study. We appreciate all you've done for us. While the experience of studying at Swinburne may have at times been challenging, it has also been very enjoyable, rewarding and memorable. We will all take with us skills and knowledge that will assist us in our future endeavours. For all of us, this is a very proud moment and something we have worked towards for a very, very long time. We are very proud to be here in front of you now, celebrating our success. I'd now like to take this opportunity to thank, most importantly, all of our families and friends for their support during our studies. You've been there from the beginning, you've shared the same goals and kept us focused, so we thank you, and we are very honoured to have you here today sharing this moment with us. And finally, may we have every success in whatever we do now, whether it be developing a career or continuing with our studies. Whatever we go on to do, I'm sure the knowledge, experience and friendships we've gained through our studies will help us, whichever path we choose. Well done, many congratulations and good luck.
Thank you very much, Stephanie. To Swinburne graduates, I know that today is the culmination of years of hard work and that during this time you've had the encouragement and help of your family and friends, so many of whom are here tonight, who have come from many parts of Australia and many parts of the world to see you graduate. On yours and the university's behalf, I do wish to thank them most sincerely for their support of you and your studies here at Swinburne. I'm sure that they, like us, are incredibly proud of all that each one of you have achieved. Graduates, I'm going to ask you to now stand, turn and face your families and friends, and join with me in thanking them for all that they have done for you during your time here at Swinburne. Let's congratulate them together. Thank you, graduates. Please resume your seats. Thank you. Graduates, I think it's also appropriate that on your behalf, I also take this opportunity to thank the teaching and administrative staff for their contribution to your education here at Swinburne. Could I ask if all of the staff and academic staff please rise? Graduates, please join me. Thank you very much. Graduates, I do trust that you will consider that this is the beginning of a lifelong association with us here at Swinburne. I know that it's become a cliche, but in fact, it's true that education is a continuing process, and I do hope that many of you will return to Swinburne to further your studies. I would also encourage you to participate in the activities of the Swinburne Alumni Association. The Alumni Association has groups in many parts of the world, and it's there for you, to support you, to encourage you, to give you the opportunity to stay in touch with each other, and in fact to help you during the development of your, what will be, great and successful career. So even if you're leaving Melbourne, that does not mean that you have to lose your participation with us here at Swinburne. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all members of Swinburne, I offer our congratulations to all who have received an award here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, can I thank you on behalf of everybody here at Swinburne for being here with us. I know how important it is for our graduates that you're here. This would not be the celebration that it is without you. So thank you most sincerely for being here with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, graduates, that concludes the formal part of this Swinburne graduation and award conferral ceremony. Thank you and God bless.
On behalf of members of Council and the university community, I invite you to join us for refreshments, which will be served in the Chandelier Room. Would you now please stand while the official party, academic procession and procession of graduates leaves the hall.